Hello everybody, my name is Memo. This is my channel, Fancy Memo. Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to List Week, where I will be talking about the best and worst music from 2025. I am very excited for this video because we are talking about the top 50 singles of the year. All 50 of these songs are in a Spotify playlist for you all to check out, link in the description. Yesterday we talked about the top 10 EPs of the year. Tomorrow is the big boy. We are talking about the top 50 albums of the year, so make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss it. But yeah, this year has had an amazing crop of singles. There's a lot of songs here that I absolutely love, and I'm excited to share what I think are the best songs of 2025. But before I do, if you like music related content like this, please subscribe, since that is what I do here. And if you're already subscribed and want more of this for some reason, check out my Instagram, Twitter, TikTok if you like basketball, more specifically NBA basketball. I have a basketball podcast. It's called Above the Rim Rundown, where we run down all things NBA. Check it out if you're interested. But yeah, let's get started. So similar to what I've done in the past, I am going to speed through like the latter half, the 50 through 26, and I'll talk a little bit more about each track once we get closer and closer to the top 10, where I will be a little bit more detailed with my commentary. But yeah, I'm excited to share, so let's get started with number 50. We've got Ghais Guevara with The Old Guard Is Dead. A snippet of this, fun fact, was used before the Super Bowl halftime show this year, the Kendrick one. So that's a fun fact for you. Shout out to Ghais for that. Number 49, we've got BABYMETAL with From Me to You featuring Poppy, one of the most addicting hooks of the year. I really like that one for some reason. Number 48, we got Pink Pantheress with Tonight. 47, we've got Ski Mask the Slump God with Catch Me Outside 2. At number 46, we've got Daniel Caesar with Call on Me. At number 45, we've got Clipping with Change the Channel. Number 44 is Olivia Dean with Man I Need. Number 43 is Rochelle Jordan with Bite the Bait. Number 42 is Drake with Nokia. This album's ass, but I do like Nokia quite a bit. At number 41, we've got Tame Impala with Dracula. Halloween banger right there. At number 40, we've got Rich Brian with Little Ray of Light. Number 39, we've got Turnstile with Never Enough. At number 38, we've got Cuco with Sin Un Corazon. At 37, we've got Fred again, Skepta, and Plaqueboymax of all people on Victory Lap. Number 36 goes to Playboi Carti and Kendrick Lamar on Good Credit. Number 35 goes to Joji with Past Won't Leave My Bed. At number 34, we've got Steve Lacy with Nice Shoes. At number 33, we've got Offset with Bodies featuring Jid. At number 32, we've got Lil Tecca with Dark Thoughts. This is a banger, I can't lie. At number 31, we've got Tia Corinne and Jid on Backyard. At number 30, we've got No Worries with Everybody Gets Down. Anderson .Paak and Knowledge killed it on this one. At 29, we've got Uchis with Baqui, B-A-Q-U-I. I don't know if I said that correctly, but shout out to Uchis. Number 28 goes to Yeet with Come and Go. Number 27 goes to YG with 2004 featuring Buddy and the Gang. It was actually hard to pick a YG track this year, but due to the lyrical content on this track, I had to put it on the list. It's jaw-dropping. And at number 26, we've got Underscores with Music. Underscores invented music. Let's go. All right, we've made it to the top half of the list, ladies and gentlemen. At 25, which is the Marias with Back to Me. If you knew me, you knew that I had a huge obsession with the Marias this year. Started off with Back to Me, and then I went into a huge rabbit hole listening to their entire discog. But yeah, this is such a beautiful and heart-wrenching track. So shout out to the Marias, and shout out to the number 24 track, which is by Not For Radio. It's Back to You. Of course, I am gonna talk about Not For Radio, which is Maria's solo project right here. And Back to You is such a somber and lovely track. Oh my god, I just want to give her a hug. So yeah, that's 24. At 23, we've got Jid with Community featuring Clipse. I love how they all stayed on topic within this track, and I do like the topic in general. A lot of talks about gentrification, just very smart hip-hop right here. Jid killed it this year, and so did Clipse, obviously. So yeah, shout out to them. Some of the best writing you'll hear on any hip-hop track. Highly recommend Community. At number 22, we've got Freddie Gibbs and the Alchemist with Ensalada featuring Anderson .Paak. What a track. What a track. Speaking of great writing, dude, I love how they use a little bit of wordplay to make It's a Lot of sound like Ensalada, and use that to start off each line, with every line here being about something. Just the wordplay is incredible. The writing in general is incredible. Anderson .Paak killed it on the feature. Great stuff right here. At number 21, we've got Little Simz with Free. Oof, Little Simz killed it this year. She absolutely did. I love this track. I love during like the outro how she bounced off of the free refrain after every line. The topic here is amazing. Little Simz, truly one of the best artists out right now. Love her work. At number 20, we've got Danny Brown and Underscores with Copycats, one of the most addicting hooks of the year. This is such a fun banger. Very addicting track here. Number 19 goes to Genesis Owusu with Pirate Radio. This is such an aggressive track calling out incels and Elon Musk and just a bunch of losers that are ruining the world essentially. At number 18, I've got Geese with Pays du Cocaine, I think. I don't know. I believe it's French. I took French for 2 years and sucked at it clearly. But yeah, this is such a beautiful and dramatic track that pulls the heartstrings. A lot of passion went into this track, that's for sure. At number 17, we've got Black Country New Road with Besties, a track about besties. What's not to love? This is such a cute and theatrical track. I really liked it. At number 16, we've got Tyler the Creator with I'll Take Care of You featuring Yebba. This is basically a Yebba track, even though Tyler did contribute here and there. But man, Yebba, her singing is incredible. Not a lot of lyrics, but that one single refrain, I'll take care of you, and just how the instrumental builds up. Man, it's so beautiful. Very dreamy. I love it. I love it a lot. At number 15, we've got Backxwash with Ninth Heaven, a very heavy track with a heavy instrumental, and Backxwash, just pouring her heart out, giving a really passionate performance here. So shout out to her. Number 14, speaking of passionate, we've got Maruja with Trenches. This is another heavy track. I love the use of saxophones and just the buildup of this track. It's so chaotic and angry sounding. I really like that one. At number 13, we've got Bad Bunny with BAILE INoLVIDABLE, a track about dancing, but obviously it's not about dancing. The dancing is like a metaphor for this short little relationship he was in that felt like it could last for forever, but it didn't. I think this is one of the best songs off of the album. Instrumentally, it is incredible. It is fun to listen to. I love the background vocals as well. What a year for Bad Bunny, dude. What a year. At number 12, we've got John Michel and Anthony James with World's End. One of the most passionate hip-hop tracks you'll hear all year. They really went out of their way on this one and gave such a heartfelt and thoughtful performance. I think the production here matches the energy and gave such a cinematic feel to one of the most incredible tracks of the year. So shout out to them. And at number 11, I've got JPEGMAFIA with Protect the Cross. This is a banger. I really loved this track when it was released. Such incredible funny lines. I love the bombastic instrumental. It's just so out there, It stands out in a very good way. Even though this was a quiet year for JPEGMAFIA, at the same time, it was an incredible one for him. He dropped some amazing tracks like this and EPs and deluxe projects. He did amazing, but I'm hoping we get a new album from him next year, because I know it'll be incredible, just like this track right here. So shout out to Peggy. But there we go, we made it to the top 10, ladies and gentlemen. And at number 10, we've got Clipse with John Legend and Voices of Fire on the Birds Don't Sing. It was hard to choose which Clipse track I wanted to add onto this list because it's hard for me to choose like my favorite Clipse track of the year. It's hard. It really is. But I decided to go with this one because off of first listen, I was in awe. My jaw dropped. Because, you know, before listening to this track, I wasn't really sure if it was going to pan out that well. You know, Clipse and John Legend isn't necessarily a combo that I was excited to listen to. But man, did John Legend come through on the chorus here. He did incredible, I think. Voices of Fire added a lot to the track. But obviously, it's the writing from both Malice and Pusha T that not only blew my mind, but it genuinely made me cry off of my first listen. I was bawling because of the subject matter of them talking about how they lost both their mom and dad in a short time frame and how that affected, and them reminiscing of their relationship and their family growing up. There was just a lot of love and passion within the lyrics of this track, and I I couldn't help myself but start crying because of a lot of things. You know, I lost my uncle last year, so listening to this after losing my uncle like a month or two ago, it broke me. And you know, I was hurt then, but I can't imagine the pain they felt losing their parents. So yeah, that's why I started bawling. I could not help myself. But yeah, this is incredible. One of the best opening tracks to any album released this year. The writing is phenomenal. I absolutely loved this track. So shout out to Clipse for this one. Moving on, number 9, we've got Nina Girachi with iPod Touch. Let's pick things up because that was kind of a downer. But yeah, iPod Touch is such a fun banger. I'm so glad I discovered Nina Girachi this year because she provided some amazing tracks that I love to go back to. This track right here, iPod Touch, has so much replay value. I love going back to it. It is so catchy, and I like how she's like reminiscing throughout the track, talking about how, you know, the music sounds like high school, or how it sounds like iPod Touch, yellow Pikachu case, a FL Studio free download in my search history. That's so real. By far one of the most entertaining tracks of the year. Nina Girachi killed it in 2025. I hope she does not stop and continue killing it in 2026. At number 8, we've got Kevin Abstract and Quadeca with Abandon Me. So this is basically a Quadeca track, but shout out to Kevin Abstract for having him on Blush and killing it on Abandon Me. This is such a heart-wrenching track from Quadeca. Like, the singing performance here, God, it gets you in the feels, dude. And you know, I wouldn't say this is a lyrical masterclass here, but the lyrics gets the job done. You're always there for me. Why won't you abandon me? Why won't you abandon me like everyone else? Like, dude, it's hard not to like relate to lyrics like that, especially when it's sung by Quadeca in, again, the most like heart-wrenching fashion imaginable. So I had to bring this up because it really was a standout from Blush, and Blush is an incredible album. So yeah, I had to talk about it. But yeah, let's move on to number 7, which is Automatic Love by Nourished by Time. I'm so glad I discovered Nourished by Time this year because, oh my god, what a track. This track is like witnessing a star being born. Oh my god, just the way he just presents himself and introduces himself. Like, this is the first track off of his amazing album that I will talk about soon, maybe. Subscribe to find out. The Passionate Ones, you know, this is the first track off of the Passionate Ones. This is the first track I've heard from this man. This is his introduction to me, to many other people, and what an introduction. It's just so grand and epic. Like, you know, he knows what he's doing. He is showing off to the world, kind of proving that he is that guy with this performance. And just like, listen to the first few lines of the first verse. Yeah, I fall down and take you, baby, cause I know you'll praise me too. This man knows what he's doing. This is such a phenomenal like synth pop tune. Such a great, fun love track that'll get you wanting to bust a move. So yeah, really love that one. So good, dude. It's so good. Moving on to number 6, we've got Joey Valence and Brae with Live Right. Oh my god. Once I heard this track, I knew that it was gonna be on this list and high on this list. Because, yeah, they really went out there. And instead of, doing their usual stuff, going for like a Beastie Boys-esque banger, they went more towards like a nostalgic sounding route where they're both talking about their fears of growing up and not being able to have fun and be with their friends. It is presented in a very sincere way, and I just relate to this a lot. Just slowly getting older and older every year like everybody else, and I feel like there's a lot of things that I should have done in my life, and maybe I should grow up a little bit, but it's hard. It's hard to do that when there's still a lot of things I want to do with my life before having to fully grow up. So yeah, I could relate to this a lot. So shout out to Joey, Valence, and Brae. They killed it on this track. The instrumental is incredible. Their performances are amazing. The Kanye-esque singing towards the end, it's all very amazing. So shout out to them. But there we go. We made it to the top 5. At number 5, we've got Magdalena Bay with Second Sleep. Dude, Magdalena Bay went on a run this year, dropping so many incredible singles back to back to back, basically. And although there's a lot of options I could choose from, Second Step is probably my favorite. I think because I got to see them perform this song like right after they released it. I think that kind of swayed me into liking this song a lot. I also really love the instrumental. It's very beautiful. I love the strings being used, and I just love how there are very soft and serene moments, but then they mix in some louder and more, for a lack of words, like intense moments as well. I think Mika's performance here is beautiful. Her singing always amazes me. Like, I've been saying this for years now, that they're like the future of pop, and I feel like they have not disappointed me whatsoever. They've proven time and time again that they are not only the future, but they are the now. They are the blueprint for amazing pop music. So yeah, shout out to Magdalena Bay. Love their stuff. Absolutely love Second Step. But yeah, let's now move on to number 4, which is Gorillaz with The Happy Dictator featuring Sparks. Gorillaz is my favorite band of all time. I love their stuff. I'm so hyped for their new album, and this was a great way to hype me up with this first single, The Happy Dictator. It is such a weird and cartoony track, very goofy, very Gorillaz, if we're going to be honest. This sounds exactly what you expect from Gorillaz. Just a very quirky track here, even though it's a very interesting character piece. We're being talked to by this happy dictator trying to convince you that everything will be all right, everything is fine in his little world, but you kind of get a hint that that's not necessarily the case. And I think Sparks did a great job providing those additional vocals, sounding like people from this world, telling you to not necessarily believe in this happy dictator. I don't know, it's a very interesting concept for a track. I think the chorus is phenomenal. The instrumental, once again, is very cartoony and quirky. Just everything I love from Gorillaz is presented on this track. Just incredible, heady writing, great performances, and quirky instrumentals. What's not to love? So shout out to Gorillaz. Now we're going to jump into the top 3. At number 3, we've got Los Retros and Hikari with Doves. I feel like nobody talked about this song this year. I felt like I was the only person talking about this track. And why was that the case? More people should be talking about the return of Los Retros. This is a beautiful track to return with, a duet with Doves, where Los Retros is diving into a Japanese city pop direction, which is something he has been working on with other Japanese artists, but this is the first time where he released his own song in this direction, and I think it turned out great. I love the chemistry between Los Retros and Hikari. I think the singing here is very pretty and serene, romantic even. The writing obviously is very romantic, and the instrumental is gorgeous. It's so good. Why did nobody talk about this track? To me, it's a top 3 track of the year, and nobody talked about it. That's crazy. That's crazy. More people should be talking about it. If you haven't listened to it already, listen to this track. Listen to Doves. If there's one track I want you to listen to from this video, it's Doves. So check it out. Doves by Los Retros featuring Hikari. Amazing, beautiful city pop track right here. All right, number 2, we've got Uchis with I Love You So Much It Hurts. Dude, that lyric alone and the way she performed it got my heart hurting, dude. I love you so much it hurts. So just the passion within this song and within this lyrics, talking about her loved ones, talking about Don Toliver, of all people she could be with, whatever. Talking about Don Toliver, her love for him, her love for her child, and basically willing to do anything to love them, even if it hurts. Even if it hurts, she'll do anything for the ones she loves, dude. Why can't I find a person like this in my life? Like, dude, she just has so much love to give to the world, to the ones that she loves. And I respect that a lot. The way she performed this track, you can tell that she's being sincere. She's being genuine. She just went all in. You could hear the emotion in her voice, and you could hear it within each lyric as well. The lyrics are phenomenal. I think Uchis did her thing on this one. It might be my favorite track from her. Just a beautiful lovesick track right here. If you are currently in love, this is definitely a track that should be in your rotation. All right, we've made it to the number 1 spot. The number 1 song of the year, in my humble opinion, is God Stained by Quadeca. I absolutely fell in love with this track once it was released for many reasons. Whether you talk about the instrumental and like the Spanish guitar being used and the beautiful flutes being played, whether you talk about the direction of this song, this was the very first track we got to listen to for his album Vanisher Horizon Scraper, and hearing him really put himself out there and sing in such a beautiful and elegant way was not only surprising but simply just jaw-dropping. I did not expect him to perform like he did on this track, but he really did his thing on this track. And lyrically, I thought it was so poetic. He kind of saw a lot of himself within this like bottle that was washed up onto the shore. It may look like a heap of garbage, but there is something special inside. I think the way he used that bottle as a metaphor within this track was beautifully done. Quadeca surprised me this year. I was never really a fan of him, but last year he started growing on me a bit, and this year, oh my god, he just blew me away. The fact that he produced this track as well is mind-blowing. Like, this is such a beautiful instrumental, so pair that with the writing and the singing, and you got one of the best tracks of the year. This is jaw-dropping stuff. I thought you knew, no matter how much I feel like the paper and plastic, I could still find a way to get back to you. What a song, So yeah, Quadeca with God Stained is my number 1 track of the year. So congrats to Quadeca. And there we go, that's it. That is my top 50 songs of 2025. I hope you enjoyed the video, but yeah, I'm gonna end it here. So thank you guys for watching. If you like the video, makes sense, right? Comment down below what's your favorite song of the year. Mine is God Stained by Quadeca. Let me know what's your favorite song from 2025 in the comments down below. If you like music related content like this, please subscribe, since that is what I do here. And if you're already subscribed and you want more of this for some reason, check out my Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. If you like basketball, more specifically NBA basketball, I have a basketball podcast. It's called Above the Rim Rundown, where we run down all things NBA. Check it out if you're interested. But yeah, I'm done here. So thank you guys for watching. I love you guys. Goodbye. I thought you knew.